Welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Shanghai Season 8 for League of Legends. This is the Grand Finals, and I'm Snowy Padre, joined by Advocate here. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you, Snowy?
Pretty good. We're joining in from the ESL. I'm just joining in from New Zealand. We've got Advocate over there in Australia. We're heading into Champ Select now. IG now going over to the blue side, so we'll see if they've got a bit more Baron control, and WE over on the red. This is game number 2, and this is actually a best of 3. It has been changed to fit in a little bit better with the tournament structure, so it is a best of 3. Game 1 did go to WE, but without that potential Baron control from the blue side. We'll see how they fare in game number 2. What do you think coming into this game, Advocate?
I think it's still really up in the air. IG is probably going to be a bit more, uh, a bit more respectful in terms of lane swapping this time, because they certainly did not have a good run with the kind of constant roaming from mid to top, back and forth between the AD carry support and the Oriana in mid. It's just they caught out, and then lanes fell behind, and it kind of went off from there. They got themselves in a bad position.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to try and reflect that. Oh no, they did lock in as the Zac, but just looking at the bans again, we do see that TF going out. They actually took out Kennen. He did phenomenally well swapping out with Rise. And the Rise ban actually going out from WE as well. They didn't want to have IG pick that up a bit too quickly. They're going straight for that Thresh that they had before. It wasn't taken out by IG early. It's Zac first pick is kind of interesting, but he does have great flexibility in his ganking and in his jungle control. But do you think he may be going in the top lane?
I can't say that he would. It's possible, but I'm not sure if PDD could easily float that. That's definitely potentially the case. But with the Nunu coming out, I suspect that it's quite likely that he's going to be in top lane. That's yeah. But definitely a lot
Okay.
of team fight potential there with the Zac and the Nunu. That's a lot of slows. A Vayne pick into that would be interesting. But they have to worry about Diana because she's a great assassin specifically for AD carries.
She certainly is, and I feel like the top lane, if they do have that Zac going on, and they've probably figured out on WE side by now that they go for that ranged damage and keep a lot of eyes on their lane. So here we go, they're picking out potentially the Zed. We'll see if he jumps in the jungle position. But with I don't know, with a champion like Zed, he can definitely poke out Zac very quickly, especially pre-level 2 or 3 when he doesn't want to get that jump right on the get-go. I think that top lane could easily be taken out quite a lot, but it's that heavy CC that Zac brings to the team fight anyway.
Well, I think if you do send Zed up top, which is most likely how it's going to go down, it's not necessarily the case. You're going to have a jungler who's very aware of when the power spikes are from Zed. And really, once that passive gets popped on a Zac, then there's a bit of time spent clearing that. And if you've got a jungler coming in harassing you at that same point, it's not going to be easy to actually eliminate Zac. There's a lot of mobility coming out from Zac, and there's a lot of tankiness. So whether
Yeah, and if the
he
Death
does
Sentence
actually
goes out
get,
as well, yeah.
yeah, it does actually end up getting bullied from that top lane Zed, that that may be true. But I'm waiting to see if there's any lane switches coming out. Firstly,
Oh yeah, definitely. They may have to actually respond that way. And of course, we did see that last game with IG doing a lot of lane
oh,
switching.
the Scion. I was interested there because I remembered that Fizz said he was going to bring something unusual to the side, but no, that's truly a bit of a joke there
Letting
because
the
they've already got
casters get
Thresh.
excited. Ah, most definitely. The Karthus did go out on IG. As you
Do
can
we?
see, they've got quite a big wombo combo actually on their side.
This is interesting. So we do actually have a jungle Zed coming out with a Diana top and a Ari mid. So that's interesting to see. But yes, we do have Zac going in the top lane with Illusion on jungle on Nunu. So
Yeah, this is quite an interesting lane. So they may not end up going for those swaps. That is a close range Diana. She can get pretty damn tanky. especially with the globes, and she can build pretty tanky early in the game, going for Merc Treads or something like that. She's actually gone with that teleport, so she might not be spending as much time in the top lane as you might expect, and we may see that swap out with Thresh and Israel going in the top lane to deal with Zac as well. So yeah, it's very much up in the air.
I think it'll be interesting to see. I mean, Chalmei is definitely known for his aggressive play style. So, whether that comes out, teleport's not obviously the most aggressive pick, but it will allow him to, roam very quickly to bot lane, saying. And Diana just has so much force and so much potential burst that could really be hard hitting. I think it's an excellent pick, but we'll have to see how it actually turns out.
Just a moment here as I get back in the client. Very sorry about this. And it doesn't look like PDD has been affected too much by the accident. He is playing with that Zac, which is going to be interesting to see him going. But he's been coping very well in the game so far.
Yeah, well, I don't think it was anything too hard hitting. It was probably a bit of a shock. They rushed him to hospital. He returned. He was relatively all right. Just pretty much a few gravel scrapes and stuff from the pictures I saw. So I think his biggest complaint was that the heat in Shanghai was making his wounds itch, but that was about it.
Manly man PDD.
So yeah, certainly.
Just coming into spec now. Sorry about this.
But yeah, the pause coming out once again. So it just seems to be the general thing. It's just how it
Do you
is.
usually find that that League of Legends tournaments coming out of China are far more meta breaking, especially than the NA and the EU scene?
Well, I think they've been learning from the Korean side of things, so it's like they've certainly taken a lot of tips since the All Stars. It was being pointed out, and they've focused more on the objective control as well. They still have a lot of that, push, kill people, kill people kind of ideology, but definitely they still once they finish that off, they come back to the towers, they come back to the dragons. And I think it has been changing, but it's not so much meta breaking as it's just defining where the meta stands, the strong meta is. Certainly from how people in NA and even EU feel about it.
Yeah, and I'd very much be interested to see a very flexible meta coming into to League of Legends in general, because you always have those fixed sort of lane metas coming in, but in the new age, I see it as League of Legends. I feel like the meta is going, how are you going to respond to your enemy team, and that in itself creates its own meta sort of within the meta. So you do still pick out a lot of those support and ADCs and roles basically, but you modify their play styles and their laning and their map control to suit the game. So it's a meta within the meta kind of.
This is not Inception though. I think definitely you've got a far more adaptive play coming out. I can't come on all the teams coming from the Chinese scene, but definitely. Oh, here we're back in the game. But Team WE and IG both have a lot of strong game knowledge in general, and they really adapt their play styles. So I don't think it's just so much as a defined meta as it is like knowing what they can pull off against certain teams and how to treat it. So that's certainly why they've been able to. For example, IG has been able to take a lot of these games 2-for-1 against WE because they adapt to what's happening and they're able to capitalize on that. So I'm really interested to see how IG end up this game, and I think they'll probably be a bit more on point.
Oh, we do see the team up coming out from WE again. Well, they were actually spreading out a little bit on the blue side. And this is another one of those red to blue side differences that happen quite a lot in League of Legends. You see that team up and that opportunity coming out from the purple side because of the bush placement, especially at top lane, and that broad sort of spread out on the blue side.
Oh, here it comes.
They do see that. Oh, there's the death sentence and the insta jump to the insta kill. That Bane's gonna go straight down and it's gonna go to Xiao Mei. And if she does end up in that top lane, that's gonna help her out very much so against Zac. And it looks like he is heading that way. But maybe WE are still gonna go out for that lane switch. Oh, and denying wars already in the game.
Looks like they're wanting to take the red buff at this point, which would not be an unusual thing to do. I mean, they've just scouted it out instead.
Just having a safe look. Zed, of course, starting out in the blue, which is interesting. Getting those cooldowns early, not going for the direct red steal.
And it's interesting to see Kid playing so carefree, considering just like you'd think they would have known this is what Fizzif does, what Team WE does. When they're on the red side, they pretty much every single game, if they're playing someone like Blitzcrank or Thresh, they do that. They go sit in that dragon pit and they try to pick off someone from there. They just missed it in the game where Fizzif was on Blitzcrank, but they picked it up this game. So it's interesting and probably not as smart play as I would have expected coming out, but that's definitely not the end of the game right there.
No, definitely not. That first blood definitely helps out a lane. But we do see those lane switches going out. We do actually see Wei Xiao coming in with Fizzif in the top lane up against Zac, really locking him down. So we may see a switch of lanes there if well, coming in a bit later to the game. It is going to be the mids in the same place. So Diana's coming up against the 2v1 combo bot lane. And getting that initial kill will definitely help her out there. But she's going to have to play passive as well. She does have a decent amount of poke, especially over Zac. He really just has his E to deal with anything. Sorry, his Q to deal with anything.
She just needs to stay mana sufficient, and this is what was I think a problem for Ryze when he was versing the 2v1 lane in mid lane. You know, Diana can't get in close to get that CS, and that's always the risk when you're playing top lane Diana. Ooh. PD
Zed coming in there actually helping him push the lane.
Yeah, PDD just getting away from that gank in top lane. He would have had his passive under the tower, so that flash was definitely well worth it.
Ooh,
yeah, but as I was
sentence barely missing, so that flash now down on Fizzif, giving them a little bit more of an opening. We do have that escape potential coming out from Wei Xiao, but he may just have to back off and make the best of it.
So you've got Troll on Zed here, which is a very interesting pick. Zed's kind of a farm jungler. You know, once you hit level 6, there's a lot of kill potential on Zed, no matter where you're playing from. But it's not something that you often see. I think the last time I saw it was on Team Alternate on the EU scene, fairly recently. But you know, it had a bit of presence when Zed was before the nerf on Zed, and it's kind of fallen off now. But, you know, Troll's had so much presence in lanes previously, and for him to go from a champion like Eve to Zed is an interesting pick, and I wonder what the rationale behind it is.
Oh, Xiao Mei does not like the bot lane one bit. They are actually swapping it back out. They do think, and I would actually think that that kid coming out. Oh, we do see First Blood going down in the mid lane, sorry, and that was Karthus. Sorry, Sitai getting taken out. With a very sneaky gank coming in from Illusion. Sorry, not Illusion. Sorry, from Troll.
Yeah. A lovely taunt coming out there from Messiah was absolutely perfect. Just picking him off. I'm surprised that Zatai didn't flash sooner, but you know that's to his own death. So
maybe Suicide Karthus is now on the way.
He's not running teleport revive, unfortunately.
No, he's not.
Disappointingly. But you know, we can always dream.
We live for those moments as casters.
Anyway, Wei Xiao back in bot lane though. He's slightly behind in CS actually, but they have picked up an assist compared to Kid's death, so he's still up in overall gold, and he's got that tier now, so he's just going to be able to play it fairly passive if he wants to, or play it aggressive if he's so inclined.
Definitely. And as I was saying before, sorry that before that first blood went down, silly me, is that for one that lane swap did go out, and for two, I think it was mainly because they knew that Sona and Vayne were going to get that bot lane very quickly, and that neither the bot and top decent. So we do see that jump in mid lane coming in again with Troll trying to pick up the kill. It does go to Messiah, with Troll backing just in time to provide her that kill. He's had some very, very harsh times falling on him in the mid lane. Looks like he's going to have to ward up a bit more, but that ward last that he placed was denied. We do see the exact same thing happening. Bot lane actually is Thresh trying to grab a hold of Kid, just giving him that last auto attack.
Yeah, Illusion very persistent there. And a good try coming out from Fizzith, but not quite enough to get Kid back under tower. But I think, you know, now that I see it, I completely understand Troll's pick. He's looking to take out, you know, Zed really bullies a Karthus. Karthus is not mobile, Karthus is very squishy, and Zed, even in jungle, is gonna be bursting him down with his level 6. Even so, he's going to be taking him out of the fight pretty early. I think that will be his aim if he's not going for the AD carry. And I think that'll be Xiaome's job to try to take the AD carry out of the fight.
And as you said, we do actually see the Condemned going against the wall for Fizziv. And we may see this last tumbler go down to get the kill. No, he doesn't find it, but Karthus just might. It's not enough. He's sitting there on 30 health, laughing his way to victory. Good on you. Good on you, Fizziv. But it's interesting to hear you say that about Zed in particular, because they do have, and that another gank going on, as you said, Bully in top lane against Zac, his passive not doing him justice. But as you said before, WE, they've gone for this very assassination type combo that'll help them out in the laning phase as well as in the late game. In the jungle, however, it looks like Messiah has found himself a stray Illusion, but Satai coming in for backup. That blue does go to Messiah, and that's taken out of the game for IG. But they've got a lot of targeting potential on them for WE for late game teamfights. They can pick who they want, who they think is really dangerous, and take them straight out of the fight.
But they do have to be careful because they are running a very squishy comp relative to Team IG. I mean, you know, obviously Karthus is a bit suicidal.
That death to Sona, very, very brutal with Xiaomei coming in from the back there, coming in from that tri brush.
Yeah, just absolutely wiped off the board.
Absolutely.
That's the strength of Diana, who gets the ball rolling. She's just so bursty. And even late game, she still has that a lot of that burst going for her. But in regards to actual team comp, I think IG needs to be very careful about what they're doing now. Because if they let this snowball any further, they'll be in a place where they won't be able to recover from. So they need to work out a game plan, whether that's actually getting switching lanes up, or just trying to get Sona getting these wards up. That's the question. But at the moment, their picks of Sona and Vayne and even Karthus aren't really paying off.
That early advantage from Diana has been taken quite interestingly. She's gone for that triple Dawn. She's gone for that very high damage and sort of high risk build early in the game. That suggests she knows she's going to focus on getting a lot more bullying off and a lot more kills off for her team, and potentially a lot more roaming. She's taken quite a lot of advantages of her mobility and her threat in terms of the fact that she can jump into fights very quickly with her Crescent Slash.
Yeah, the teleport definitely has paid off quite significantly.
With that build in general, do you think, I mean, it is fairly risky because it does cost you a bit more gold to get that initial push off, and if those items don't work out, you will fall just a little bit behind in that gold usage. We do see a gang going up in the top lane. PDD is picking up all of that CC off on Diana. She does manage to find a minion to jump back to just in time before it was taken out, the last one of the lane, but she's not going to be able to follow up. With that in mind, that kill going to be going to Zac.
Yeah, and something that PDD was
that much more
really looking for. I think that's definitely something that allow him to kind of just have a bit more presence in that lane. There wasn't a major amount of kill potential, but with Xiaomei's flash down, they just weren't able to get away from. He wasn't able to get away from that slow, just general CC.
Yeah, with that lane swap, I've got to say both of the top laners have started getting quite a lot more CS. They've been gold collecting just that little bit more, and Zach is caught up in that respect. That crescendo going down from Xiao Xiao onto Troll, not wanting that assassination destruction that's been holding him in all that game. Oh, will that? No, the Dark Passage does not manage to save Troll as that last turret hit managed to hit him. Oh, just a bit of bad luck there.
But yeah, definitely not quite enough respect for the Karthus coming out, and that's the strength of Karthus. He may have been bullied in lane, but he's still doing all right in CS, and he's once again coming back into the game with the.
Yeah, he's still got that ultimate. That's the thing. A WE now with this lead, they're starting to get a bit more aggressive, and Karthus can take advantage of that.
Yeah, well, it's certainly they haven't been, keeping that in mind, and then even now with Messiah roaming down bot, you've gotten excuse me.
Oh, a little bit of a siege coming into the mid lane, barely dodging, Vayne barely dodging out of that taunt coming out from Messiah. But this would be quite dangerous for Xiaomei now that they may have at least picked up on Karthus' ability to provide opportunities for against overly aggressive teams. Will Xiaomei's triple Dorans be able to pay off? I mean, it's done decently well enough, but oh, we do see them actually jumping right into the middle of that turret with Fizz have taken most of the damage. He is going to go down. They picked up the Karthus again, so they're shutting him down decently enough. He still has that opportunity maker with his ultimate, but taking away that ultimate, especially for initiating team fights, like we saw in the Season 2 Grand Finals, actually, they will be up ahead a lot more in that respect. They wanted to deal with that before they hit into team fights. They know that heavy initiation can come in with Karthus.
Yeah, well, you saw Fizz going in there, and he went a bit too ham. It wasn't quite necessary as well, I'd say, because you already had Karthus being taken out there before he dived right onto the tower. So it was a bit of an unfortunate misplay as well, to allow Zitai to actually pick up that kill.
I'm wondering if that was a death sentence play. I didn't quite catch up on that though.
Yeah, with the death sentence, he followed up on it. He pressed it again, and it was probably not the best decision.
We all have regrets.
Kid wandering around, not sure quite what to do at this point, with lanes pushed out.
Yeah, you've got to have a look at objectives and got to take them as a team. That's how a lot of League of Legends teams manage to rise to the top. Great map presence and control in terms of what they want to do and what they want to get, and then taking that as a team. It's all about objectives.
Yeah, well, you've had WE kind of reverting back to their normal format of just roaming for kills, and that actually hasn't worked out so much for them. You know, they do go ham, and that is kind of the modus operandi. But you know, when you do go ham and survive with just that small amount of health, which is happening so much in that previous game, you know, Karthus is there. Karthus is there to kind of finish off people.
He certainly is. And now we've got Zed just barely finishing off his Spirit of the Lizard Elder coming in there, as well as his Bilgewater. So his burst is growing significantly.
Yeah, once he
they
picks
are
up
playing
that,
a very squishy comp.
Yeah, once he picks up that Blade of Iron King, though, his objective, like so Dragon Baron taking potential, goes up a fair bit. So it'll be interesting to see whether they try to maintain control of those.
Zitai once again caught out, but it looks like Xiao Xiao is going to be the focus of attention. Crescendo did go out, but no one's there to back her up. Deathmark onto Kid, takes him down! And we do see the wall of pain coming out from Zitai to try and control their presence of that turret. Try and control WE's presence of that turret. That was fantastic positioning and placement by WE, and that just shows how not only hard-hitting they are, not only assassinating they are, they're also great at mobility. They've got the initiate with Troll's Shadow and his death sentence going out on the ADC there. We've got Xiaomei hitting off that Crescent. and going straight in with the Lunar Rush. Now they're going to get a Dragon out from this as well, as the rest of IG do what they can to try and get in there, take Dragon. Oh, a flash as well from PDD after the jump. Trying to create an opportunity for Karthus. He manages to pick up one. Passive pop by Zac will not be able to be used in the next fight. Very interesting decision that they tried to make an opportunity out of that Dragon. Didn't quite work out at the end though.
Yeah, but still a pretty almost solidly executed play there from PDD, but it just didn't quite work out. So he picked up a kill on a Messiah, but whether it was worth it or not.
A bit more opportunity.
Yeah. But Messiah did have 4 kills at that point, and PDD has only got 1. So as a trade-off, considering that WE wasn't actually able to do anything past that, you could consider it a good trade. He did burn Flash, however.
To get away at the very, very end.
But as did Messiah.
Beautiful team play with the death sentence in the mid lane, loving it.
Without a doubt. As you saw in that team fight, you had Xiaomei going straight for Kid on Vayne there. And yeah, really Diana's less so of just a straightforward assassin and more of she just is known for taking out those AD carries.
Ooh, double assassination coming out in the top lane again, as you're talking about it. Xiaomei and Troll doing what they do best on the exact same champion, grabbing Kid. That was just brutal to watch.
Absolutely decimated.
Absolutely. But yeah, those two coming in, I think they're very much going to be focusing on Vayne, knowing that the rest of the team are there for pure CC with Vayne cleanup. I mean, there's not as much damage coming out from Zac. The death sentence does go down on him. His passive isn't available here. He's going to get taken out. That crescendo barely saving Xiao Xiao though. Just another kill coming out from World Elite as they try to focus down on this. Focus a lot more damage on this top turret.
Yeah, well, once again, I don't understand it really. I can't say, like, they keep getting these very strong support champions who get, like, you just need to avoid Thresh, particularly when you run these very squishy comps or very immobile comps such as Karthus, and even Sona is not someone who wants to get caught out. So it's
sort of this little cloud that they've got, and once you pull something in, it just disappears.
Yeah, well, certainly. But loads of their champions. I think this is definitely how WE is playing it out. They're kind of splitting, but because each of their champions all have a lot of kill potential and assassination potential, it works out well.
Most definitely.
So,
and IG's their combination, it's very much about trying to protect that Vayne, and I say that because right now the Karthus, he's sort of shut down, not too badly. He's been great farming up. We do see Xiao Xiao going down there. I barely missed that play with Messiah coming in to try and clean her up with her assassination attempts. They've been working very well. 6-1 right now in the game. But yeah, IG, they're very much focused on trying to peel for that Vayne now, and with the focus coming out from Troll and Xiaomei, do you think they're going to be able to follow up with that peel on IG?
It's just like once it gets to this point, it's very hard, if not impossible, to keep them off an AD carry. Zed's ultimate is actually cleansable but it's not something you still got Zed right on top of you. Not cleansable, sorry, rather Quicksilver Sash sort of thing. So. Yeah, but you still got Zed right on top of you, and at the moment he's got so much damage that it doesn't actually matter whether you get rid of that ultimate burst or not. But I think something to take away here is that W is actually running 3 assassins here. I mean, Diane is a bit tanky, Zed's got a lot of escapes, and Ari is very mobile, but they're definitely just going to take out a lot of high priority targets very fast. But what happens after that
will definitely take them down a significant peg.
Yeah, but what as I was saying, yeah, what happens after those team fights once they've taken out those high priority targets, once their cooldowns are up, they really have to be careful.
Definitely. Zed is actually focused on a Blade of the Ruined King as well. Very assassinating. He may be focusing on getting a little bit more tanky now that it's getting to late game. If PDD does have great peel coming into late game, he certainly will with a Zac. As long as they can keep Zed away from priority targets, they may be able to take him down. He is that low on health.
Yeah, I think, in that regard, it's going to be very difficult for them to keep him off them. And then even though that is the case, you're going to have Xiaomei coming in, disrupting Kid or Karthus, whoever he chooses. But once you've got that DFG on Ari,
down goes yeah, down goes Xiao Xiao very, very quickly to just a single target assassination from Messiah.
he's not having a good run. That's Sona for you. That DFG is just absolutely decimating people. And as I was about to say, not that Sona's a great target, but once you've got that DFG on Ari, and if you're ahead, there's not many people who can stand your burst.
There's going to need that, quite a lot of warding in it. I mean, we saw that great response from WE before, very, very quickly from Troll, and another Dragon going down to them there, the Gold Advantage, just sitting just above 5k there. But with Troll's quick retaliation with an elixir or something like that coming out again, it will be very, very difficult for IG to get map presence. But that is what's been so difficult for Xiao Xiao at the moment. They need that map presence, but wherever she goes, there's an assassin waiting. In one of these bushes, it's just such a surprise.
Yeah, well, once you lose that warding, you lack that vision, it's really a risk even going into your own jungle to set it back up again. And particularly when WE has this many burst casters, it's not an easy option. You saw last game, IG was still retaining a lot of vision control, but in this game, it's just not being the same.
Oh, Fizziv, they're actually getting quite a lot of the ward control coming out from IG. And this game, it is all or nothing. It is a best of 3. So if they do manage to take this out, if WE do manage to take the win, that is it for the grand finals. IG have got to fight very hard to stay in this competition.
Yeah, well, it still remains to be seen. You've got some late game champions. You've got Sono, who does so much for teams, but I don't think WE are choosing these engagements where Sono or Karthus or even Vayne are able to play these extended trades or have Karthus in the middle of them. They're just executing one person at a time.
Yeah, just another single target elimination going down to the bot lane. PDD getting caught out by Xiaomei and Troll again, but Xiaomei and Messiah Troll and Messiah. I don't think IG should be going anywhere in the map right now without a partner. Their vision is gone. But even if they start tanking up significantly, these are assassins that have built pure damage to deal with everyone. So Ty may be going down here, just barely getting out the crescendo, actually firing in the wrong direction. Will they be able to follow up with this? Xiao Xiao just so low, and there's one last Q from Israel taking her out. They will not be able to siege this turret or keep it alive.
Oh god, that Diana. That was a very unfortunate play coming out for Xiao Xiao, to say the least. Jesus. That was just unfortunate to say. Physics picking off Karthus there with his Descendants, catching him, and then with Diana coming in and drawing her backwards, actually managed to make the casting of Crescendo fire behind. I'm sure it's because he was firing it right in front of him with his mouse.
Yeah, I think the disrupt from Xiaomei did. Yeah.
So it actually ended up with his mouse probably being behind him right at that moment, and I'm sure that's going to be devastating for him.
Yeah, the power of Diana's E. Just devastating. But it's interesting to see that WE, with taking away that first game, they've gone with such a high-risk, high-reward team comp that has just ended up working well for them. They need that early game with such an assassination comp because they need to maintain the damage to maintain the map presence and to maintain their late game if they ever start getting taken out a bit too easily because they're quite squishy. It was all about that early game, and it really just ended up working out for them.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see what they do now because they've been executing, taking people out, assassinating them all around the map, but they actually haven't pushed down that many towers. They've only got one more than IG, and in terms of objective control, sure they've been taking Dragon, but there's been no steps towards Baron, and I think they're probably concerned about that.
Illusion is coming in at the bot lane. It looks like Troll and Messiah just barely getting out of that engage. Oh, they're still trying to follow up on this. The slow doesn't go up as Troll manages to flash out of there away from PDD's Q. Very interesting engage. It did burn PDD's ultimate as well, so they've got that out of the team fight, and that's what's happening a lot. If anyone from IG managed to get out of a situation, usually a lot of their tools have been taken away from them.
Yeah, that's like they haven't been able to lock down PDD at all. There's just been no chance. Zed is obligated to use his ult to actually get underneath PDD if he wants to have any chance for kill potential. But as long as PDD has his ult up in kind, Zed can't actually get any more damage off to kind of stack that damage on the mark for the mark.
It hurts to see. Death mark to knock up.
But they don't really have an option of taking Baron at the moment. WE, if they really want to play it safe, you've got Karthus coming in, you've got the ult from Zac. There's a lot of potential for throws if that does come out. Now, obviously, vision is key if they did want to bring it out, but I'm fairly certain IG would recognize if WE all disappeared off the map at one point. So if they are going to take Baron, they probably need to have everyone at a slightly higher level so that some of them can actually handle it themselves.
In comes Zac with an initiate, trying to pick up Fizev here, and they do manage to find him. The box going down, but the crescendo actually picking all of them up. Out goes the Karthus ultimate, and it's going to be Kid moving on to Troll for the focus as he comes up with the silver bolts. He does manage to get the knock up of Messiah. Wasn't able to follow up with Zed because he did jump away. And there's the assassination follow-up from WE, so effective. It was a great move-in from IG. They had great targeting, getting that Karthus ult off, and then Vayne switching over to Troll. He played around with them a little bit with that shadow and being able to misplace the damage that Kid was pushing out, but then it was just Assassination City. And still following up with that Karthus test there.
They just didn't have the option. They went far too deep. Unfortunately. So while they did catch out, they caught out Fizzith and Troll. They're not the main objectives in these fights. Troll is a threat, but Fizzith is definitely not someone that you want to be wasting your burst on.
Yeah, they just saw an opportunity and they tried to take it, but these assassins, they respond so quickly to any kind of situation. You can see the teleport actually came out from Xiaomei to deal with that as well. And it looks like a dragon going down solo to Wei Xiao there. Yeah,
I think it's important to keep in mind how mobile these teams are. You've got Zed, you've got Ari, and you've got Ezreal coming out, and so you've got two champions who aren't quite as able to juke as much as they are able to mobile. Engage, but not get away. So it's really hard for IG to lock people down, even with their team comp. And you saw that happening in the jungle, with they were forced to walk through the box, which is a 99% slow coming out. Not effectively, but that's the number on it. And they weren't able to actually move in fast enough to catch people out without being caught by some of the turnaround potential.
Yeah, that box just kept IG in there barely long enough for WE to get this around. But now it looks like the objective controller is going to be focusing on Baron. There's a very, very good peel coming out from Xiaomei. Coming out from Messiah, actually picking up a kill over on Karthus there. And still following up on it as they continue to chase. Looks like PDD he's actually saving the rest of his team, getting off that ultimate in time. Kid's trying to get the focus off on Zed. He does not manage to find it. That last hit is not going out, and he's on the run from WE. Just got into a sticky situation there. as the rest of the team does manage to follow up on Zach as well. PDD did a really, really good job trying to control that fight. Is Kid going to get the execute? No, going to go to Zed. There's the Baron coming out there, pinging for it. This could just be it.
Yeah, well, now that Karthus is taken out of the fight, now that Zach is taken out of the fight, there's just nothing to worry about for them. So finally they're able to take a relatively safe Baron. I don't think they're too worried about even Nunu. A flash smite consume just probably isn't going to happen.
Yeah, there's that response that you said would come from Karthus. Oh, the warding is a bit too strong on WE's side. We've got the power of the Force. Able to get off perfect death sentences from Fizev. Absolutely beautiful. I think quite a lot of what's been happening with WE this game, they've controlled a lot of bushes, a lot of warding, and they've known exactly where IG are going to be, where they need to ward to get the presence they require, and they've just they've sat there and wait, ready to pick off these key players.
That's definitely what they've been doing, and I think, as I was saying before, it's really surprising that they haven't brought out a ban against Physis Thresh, because that's what's been happening. Not only has there been great warding coming out, but because of it, there's been like the death sentences. And to be fair, you've got an Ari, you've got a Diana, you've got a Zed.
Yeah,
so even if there was no Thresh in this game, it would still be a problem. But
walls mean nothing to these people. Xiaomei might be caught out here, but she does manage to use that hourglass against her. That was just the wrong champion for them to be catching out. Vayner's going to be made mincemeat of an illusion, following up just a bit behind. Another double kill coming out from WE.
Yeah, there's they knew Diana was isolated there, and WE recognized that Xiaomei could be seen as being out of position there, and they all quickly ran over there.
That hourglass just popped there by Karthus, trying to get out of that situation. He did manage it just barely, but this tower is going to fall to WE in its wake.
And just missing the death sentence there.
And like IG, they've done so well to try and keep track of the map. It's just this mobility that WE has been pulling out to catch them off. I mean, look at that. Israel just gone over that hill, taken out that turret. That's not something you'd just instantly expect. But after all of their warding's been taken out, IG don't have the. It's not all about following what's going on in the map. It's following what's going on in the potential of the map. Because even if Ari is in one place, she can still be in another. It's a lot of trick shots, really.
I have no idea what that means. But it all sounds a bit too mystical for me. But you've got WE just waiting. There's not much to escape this kind of burst that comes out without using a flash. And at the moment, Ari's ult cooldown is relatively low. She'll be pulling that out every time that she's got her ult and her DFG up. You can't survive that level of burst unless you just build pure health and magic resist.
Xiaomei has very much taken on the role of the tank coming out from WE. She's got that Sonya's hourglass, whereas Messiah has been focusing on still AP bursting everyone down. And bot lane, she's actually able to focus down PDD while taking out a turret at the same time. If she's going to follow this up, it will be interesting. Nope, safety of the turret. Same thing happening actually in the mid lane from WE.
Yeah, I think we're getting a bit of packet loss in our connection here, unfortunately. But there's just WE really putting on the pressure. You've got Xiaomei just soloing the bottom inhib, and there's not much that IG can do about it. Even if they collapse, they're going to lose the middle inhibitor.
Most definitely, and we do have IG sort of doing well to keep their base in check. Oh, and it looks like Kid may have the focus. No, the flash going out from Wei Xiao as Kid still tries to focus a lot of targets that are just too mobile. Get away from her range. I mean, it's quite easy to get out of the range of Kid on that vein, And they've been sort of merry-go-rounding her. They've been keeping her mobile and constantly out of range of all of that damage while they mop up the rest of the team, and then they can focus Kid down without that much trouble, without too much fear of that dangerous silver bolts.
Yeah, Kid was trying to go ham there, and just there's just too much CC, and there's too much cutting backwards for anything to come of it, unfortunately. But
Oh, we do see
WE,
GG coming out, and it looks like WE have taken it away 2-0 in a best of three. Winners of the IEM Shanghai Season 8 League of Legends tournament coming in here. I'm Snowy Padre. We've got Advocate by my side here. How did they really? I mean, we've already